back to Guitar Intervals Unleashed, where today we're going to be talking about minor 7th arpeggios. So the only real prerequisite I would say for this video is you should be familiar with how to make minor arpeggios, standard minor triad arpeggios, which we have a video on that. I'll throw a link to that up here in the corner. I'll also throw it down in the description. But we're going to be going through all the cage shapes and playing minor 7th arpeggios for all of them. So we're going to start with the C shape. And now I've taken the liberty of just plotting the minor thirds and the fifths, so the minor triad for the C shape. And we're going to plot the flat sevens. Now, the cool thing about flat sevens is that they're pretty standard and easy to find in these series of fourths. So if I plot the series of fourths up there, let me figure out where is it. Oop, there it is. So it goes 1, 4, flat 7, flat 3. So the first thing to note is flat 7, you skip the fourth to get to the flat 7. So 1, 4, flat 7. And we know the guitar is mostly tuned in fourths, so pretty much you can just skip a string and stay on the same fret as your root, and you'll find a flat 7. So for what I mean, if you're here on this root, and you just go up to your G string, you're going to plot a flat 7 right there, because it goes 1, 4, flat 7. You would be on the same fret every time, unless you cross from the G to the B string, in which case you're going to make that 1 fret adjustment like you always would. The other cool thing to note is that if you were plotting this from scratch, a fourth up from flat 7 is flat 3. So you'll see how that all pans out. Let me show you. So there is our flat 7 right there on our G string. And you see if you just go up a fourth from flat 7, boom, you're at flat 3. Now there's actually one more flat 7th here, and we could find it using either the octave method, which we've talked about in other videos, and I'll throw a link to that also in the description for our octave video, which would be involve moving 2 frets downward going from our G string to our A string. We're going to go down 2 frets. But if you're not familiar with that trick, really all you need to know is that flat 7 is 2 half steps down from our root. So if we start our root here on the A string, we're going to go 2 half steps down, and we'll find it. We also know because it's going to be just below our flat third like we just talked about. So there it is. There's a minor 7th arpeggio in the C shape. Alright, so here now we're moving on to the A shape. I've plotted the minor triad for the A shape. Now we're just going to plot our flat 7. So you could go 2 strings up to find your flat 7 here, or 2 half steps down from this root. Either way, you're going to land on the same root. So we're going to plot a flat 7 here. Now there's going to be one more flat 7 in this shape. Now if you were an astute student, you would realize where that is. What we're going to do is we're going to drop down from our flat 3 here and plot our flat 7 here, because remember they're right next to each other in the series of fourths. So it goes flat 7, then flat 3. And then if we plot this flat 7, we're going to be able to plot flat 7 up on our high E. So we're going to have our flat 7 on our low E and our high E, and then 2 half steps down from this root, or 2 strings up from this root. Either way, we're going to hit the same note. It's going to be right there. So we're going to have flat 7s on our E's and flat 7 on our G string. All right, and there we are. So now we have a minor 7th arpeggio plotted in the A shape. So on our low E, we have a 5th and a flat 7. On the A, the root and the flat 3rd. On the D, the 5th. On the G, the flat 7th and the root. On the B, the flat 3rd. And on the high E, the 5th and the flat 7th. This is a C minor 7 arpeggio in the A shape. So moving on to our G shape. This is the minor triad plotted, the minor arpeggio plotted for the G shape. So we're going to continue on with what we've been doing. We're going to plot our flat 7s. You're going to find them, just go 2 half steps down from your root. Or remember, you could always jump a string, because we're crossing from our G to B string here. Instead of being on the same fret, it's going to go up 2 strings and up 1 fret. Alright, so let's plot our flat 7s. So there's those, and I missed one. It's actually going to be down from our flat 3 here in the middle. So go down to our flat 3 on the D string. And we're going to plot a flat 7 there as well. And there it is. There's a minor 7th arpeggio in the G shape. This is a C minor 7 arpeggio in the G shape. So now moving on to the E shape. This is the minor triad arpeggio plotted here for the E shape. So let's put on our thinking caps here. We're going to put the first flat 7. We're just going to go 2 strings up from our root here. We're going to have a flat 7 then on our D string here. And then we can go down from this flat 3rd here to get our flat 7 down here. Oops, in here. And there you are. Let's hear how that sounds. Alright, so now moving on to the last shape here. This is the D shape. We have our minor triad arpeggio here plotted in the D shape, and then we just have to plot our flat 7s. I think for this shape, it's easiest to just walk backwards from your flat 3s and plot flat 7s in those spots. So we have 2 flat 3s that we can move backwards from and plot flat 7s there. Alright, and there it is. So we have flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3. That is a minor 7th arpeggio in the D shape. Alright, so we just went through all 5 cage shapes playing minor 7th arpeggios. I just plotted them all right here so you can see what it would look like going across the whole fretboard. You can get some cool runs in. This is a great blues chord if you're into the blues. This is a great box to know. Something you should definitely learn if you're into that kind of music. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please subscribe to the NANDI Method here on YouTube. Please make sure to check out the NANDIMethod.com. I'm going to put links in the description for where you can pick up one of these, a NANDI-Chorder. It's going to be super helpful for you if you're following along with the NANDI Method. I'm also going to put links to other videos that are relevant to this one, including the minor arpeggios video and the octaves video. And yeah, so check out the NANDIMethod.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to pick up Guitar Intervals Unleashed on Amazon. All right, take care.